He's an action figure poser, which means posing action figures is his specialty. SeanSolo8 and it's Vern from OakhurstStudios, who is a master at complaining about pretty much everything. And together, they are the Toy Duo.
You don't look like Sean.
I'm not in Arizona either.
All right. Anyways, this is welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Toy Duo. It's a weekly live stream dedicated to talking about all things action figures, Star Wars, Marvel, everything you could think of. That's what we're going to do here. Today, we have a guest host. This is Ways of the Sith. You can find him at youtube.com/@ Ways of the Sith. It shouldn't be that hard to find, right?
Now it's
you
not
just write that in there.
Letters. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then of course you're watching me, Vern, on OakhurstStudios, and you can find my channel at youtube.com/@ Vern Rants, which has nothing to do with OakhurstStudios, but I told that story a previous time, so we'll just move on from that. So I do have memberships on my channel, and custom badges. I got like a community post that I'm working on. I do have some videos that are for members only, and I'm working on that, right? Like trying to figure out like what best to do with that process. I know like times are tough right now, so I'm not expecting people to join up and be members. It's like $1.99. I'm thinking about pushing it maybe 99 cents or something like that, just to do something a little bit different, and to get more members, because the more members I get, the more stuff like I can potentially do, right? Like, I mean, it's finite, especially in this environment. But anyways, we want to
that's how it's designed to work, though. I mean, like that's what the super followers, the stuff on Instagram, all that stuff. It's designed to basically help you continue doing what you're already doing in a way. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to like take that money, invest it back into your channel, or
that's what I want to do. Want to be able to like kind of give back a little bit and stuff like that. And I've been trying to think about some different stuff. In the future, I want to do maybe some Toys for Tots stuff like later on in the year and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
But yeah. But anyways, we want to welcome everybody who's here in the chat. So we want you to ask questions and make comments. Good comments. But anyways, we're going to do that.
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the reveals from this week. So there's a little preview of what we got coming up. We also had Lando Calrissian won the action figure character of the week. So later, if we don't forget, like we did with Leia, we'll talk about Lando Calrissian from Star Wars. And it's interesting, though, because I've run that poll now. This is like 5 weeks, I think, for the last 5. I think me and Sean just came up with Boba Fett for the first one. And then the rest of them, we just put up a poll. And I had trying to do it like a Marvel, a DC, a Star Wars, and G.I. Joe.
And you've been getting Star Wars every week.
Every week, no matter what. And I think it was weird because I think I threw C-3PO thinking like nobody will vote for C-3PO. So I'm like trying to figure out what character should I put in next week's poll just to see if it's a Star Wars thing or if people are really interested in the actual figure or character of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought for sure when you showed me the poll that we were either going to talk about John Stewart or Rhodey, War Machine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was leaning towards Roadblock. This is the second time Roadblock was in that poll. I'm really hoping to get Roadblock one day, and maybe after March. I think GIJOE is going to do their stream in March. They pushed it back, right? So maybe the weekend after that, Roadblock can win, and we can keep it all GIJOE themed or something like that. But it would be like really fun to do. And then, but John Stewart that was kind of one I was like hoping was going to win.
I was too, because I have like a favorite John Stewart that I don't think is like a popular one, maybe.
Okay, so I mean, which one is that?
The DC New 52. I think it's the Icons wave. That John Stewart.
Okay.
That's a cool one.
So from the character perspective, I read that Neil Adams did Goriando series, and I have the episode or the issue where John Stewart's there and he's grabbing Green Lantern, and Green Lantern's like laying on the ground, and John Stewart's got his power ring and the introduction issue, and that's kind of one of my favorite ones because the story between Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen is always about like rich guy from rich part of town doesn't understand like the working class, and Oliver Queen understands the working class. Then he has to pick a lantern who's from like the working class. He's like a regular guy, and he's got his the whole social story behind it. I think is fantastic. So
I'm glad they're gonna have all of them on the show, the HBO Max show. I think that's gonna be cool to get to see like all of them for the first time interacting and being together.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. That whole DC universe, by the way, like confuses me a little bit because the Flash, even though that trailer for the Flash looks fantastic, I'm super excited for the Supergirl and the Batman and having all the versions of Batman or whatever, however many. But then just to know that like on their little graphic, it shows an explosion, and then the new universe, it's like, that's it. You're done with those stories. So I'm like wondering, like, are we ever going to see them again? No matter how great they turn out, have they already decided that they're axed?
What I mean? I think Keaton's the only one that's like the open door. I think maybe worst comes to worst, we could get Elseworlds because now that's how like they split it apart.
That's true, right?
Where Batman with Robert Pattinson, Joker, and there was one other one that's supposed to be Elseworlds properties, and then the proper DCU. So I mean, it's possible because to me, that's what I want to see. I want to see either Batman Beyond with Keaton or just like one more Keaton story. Just him by himself. That would be fun.
Yeah. I think, I mean, for him to carry it like into his own film would just be like, that would be like icing on the cake.
And especially if we could get Pfeiffer back, like for one more, Danny DeVito maybe come back for like, that would be the icing on the cake. If you could get everybody to come back and just like top off the story one time, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we go any further, I want to say hi to some people in the chat just because they're joining us today, and we love to have everybody here and hear everybody's like comments on what they got to say. So first in the house was Dagon. Apparently he thought it was going to be a one-man crew because he remembered that Sean is off at some sort of a concert. G-Force is ahead of the game because he read the banner that we tweeted out like earlier in the week.
Yeah, I talked to Sean too. I was like, I'm filling in for you this week.
Yeah, that's so funny. And then, so they gone figures it out. And then Dino from Geek Strong is here. Someone said there would be free cookies. There are. They are in your cabinet, in your kitchen. Just go in there and eat them all.
What's up, Dino?
So I wanted to say something about this before we go on with this free cookies. Do you mean biscuits?
Don't get into that again.
Oh yeah, we won't. Anyways, we got Fuller's Figures is here. He's on. He is not rewatching Andor episodes today.
Can we ban Connor like right from the start?
No. I'm hoping that he'll come on when we do our GI Joe special. I want to do a GI Joe centric, just because I think the entire idea of GI Joe in the States versus Action Team like in the UK is just a really interesting thing that until more recently in my life I was never aware of. Right.
No, neither was I. That's why like one of the things I really love about being in the different group chats is like
just awesome.
Is learning all that stuff. Like even yesterday we were just clowning around and joking, but it was stuff that I would have never known, what I mean, that they do over there, that we do over here. It's different names, but it's the same exact stuff. Like really cool.
Like putting French fries in a sandwich.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right, Rolando's here. He's saying
hey,
hello.
Rolando.
Wheels of Chaotic Doom is here. Ooh,
hey, what's up
Sydney,
from Australia?
Yes. Oh, I wonder. So Sunny is down there also. I wonder if you guys ever run into each other.
Hey, Sunny.
But let's see. They're saying hi to each other. You got Sunny. Duffman's Dioramas is here. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Duffman?
Yeah, man, this guy makes some like outstanding stuff. He
really
watched my video on this like cardboard cutout diorama I did, and his first comment was like, "You should have talked to me."
Yeah, he's like, I could probably make that.
And 10 times better, right?
I'm gonna try. I went and got like some stuff, but I have to go get like the foam board and stuff like that. But that's the plan when I get this room finished behind me, is like in the Calyx there, I want to do different dios for the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so Wheels of Chaotic Doom, we're going to come back to this question because you say, do you think a lot of adult collections have stopped collecting because of PFP and distribution and prices? And, you know, we definitely want to have that conversation, but let's say hello to some more people. And we are going to talk about everything that's happening with the layoffs and that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. So Rozov is here. He's saying hello.
Hey, Rob.
Did Sithy have Sal's slices for lunch today?
I still have yet to go yet. I have to. It's like an hour away from me, so I have to try it for him.
All right, so this is why you wanted him banned, because he's not helping your diet. Yep. Okay, Left 4 Dead Fett is here. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Left 4 Dead.
Saying hello. Let's see. If I miss anybody, you have to like raise your hand and tell me, yeah, you missed me, dude. Let's see. Okay, I'm about 2,500 miles away from Sydney. Still closer than me. Okay, so I got an idea. Okay, so like if this is your first time on the Toy Duo, when me and Sean first did it, we kind of talked about ourselves and how we got into collecting. So tell us how you got into collecting.
Well, I collected from the time I was a kid. I was really, at the time, I was really into Marvel and wrestling figures and Power Ranger stuff as a kid. Mainly my collection was wrestling figures. I think that was like the main thing that I had at the time. I was poor, so I couldn't really afford Star Wars or like get into like a line that had that many toys. So like now growing up, getting back into collecting, I kind of dipped into it over the years. I was really into Marvel Universe for a while, the 3.75 line. I pretty much collected that whole entire thing. And then when that kind of died out and Marvel Legends came back, I started like dipping my toe in the water a little bit, but quickly found my way to Black Series and GIJOE Classifieds. And now there's a bunch of stuff, as you can see.
Yeah, a lot.
But, yeah, I mean, it's always just been something that I love since I was a kid.
Nice.
You know, I just always loved shows, always loved cartoons and comic books, and growing up on that stuff. And I don't know, it's just kind of like, I think as you get older, you reflect back on some of those good times and those good memories when you were a kid. And it's kind of reliving that. A lot of the stuff that I do collect is stuff that like I had when I was a kid. The Marvel Legends, like retro cards mainly, are like the main thing. Because like I vividly remember the card, the packaging, you know, how the figure looked, everything. So really cool. Joe's has been awesome. I never really expected to get into them, but like I'm loving them. And then recently, like Power Rangers, I just started kind of dipping my toe because of the 30th anniversary. I wanted to put together like a nice display for that. So really cool.
So you're a little bit younger than me. I say that a little bit, but probably like a lot younger than me. So were you like watching the Power Rangers when they first aired in the States?
Yeah. So me and Eric are the same age. We're both 35. So for us, we were 5 years old when Power Rangers came on for the first time. So I remember like the first season, everything, and then I stayed on with it probably like through Lost Galaxy, and then like dipped in back and forth here and there as time went on. But yeah, no, I remember like it starting, and I know you were a fan of like the original Super Sentai.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Because my headphones just died and I switched over to like my computer. Okay, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm on my phone too, so yeah.
All right. Okay, listen. Like Jonathan just is here now. Jonathan Redmond. He's saying, "God is younger than me." All right, so I'm going to ask this question. Like, so you are dipping into a lot of different lines. What is the oldest figure you have in your collection?
I have a Hulk Hogan and an Andre the Giant from the original Hasbro's. So they're the small ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I have I have those. Those are the only like original toys that I have from when I was a kid. When I think I was like high school, I was going to college. My mom still swears to this day that she didn't sell my stuff, but they sold everything like when I left at like a garage sale. So somebody ended up with like bins of toys with like probably didn't pay anything for them. But yeah, so now it's just kind of been, those are really like the only things that I still have like from when I was a kid.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's great to like be able to like actually have something from when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I wish I still had like more of it. Cause like I had so many like display pieces and props and different things that like now with toy photography, like I'd be in my glory using, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially with like the wrestling figures, like I had dumpsters, I had like all the accessories that used to come with, you know, all of them. So I wish I still had all that stuff.
So in the back of your mind, do you ever think like, oh, I should go try to recollect those things?
Not wrestling figures. No, way too many. I don't have the space. I still love wrestling. Like there's wrestling on after we're done today. There's 2 pay-per-views. So it's going to be like, I'm still a big, huge wrestling fan. I watch it all the time. But yeah, no, I actually don't have, believe it or not, I haven't picked up any like modern wrestling figures. Still the only 2 I have are the Hulk and the Andre, and then I have a Finn Balor. That was like the last one that like I've gotten.
Okay, that's really interesting. That you haven't gotten back into those wrestling.
No, because I just know like the display space and everything. Like I don't have room for a ring and you know an entrance way and like it's not gonna happen. I couldn't. And like I don't know. So I like the Mattels, the WWE Mattels, and our good friend Nate Bowden. He always shows them off on his channel, which is really cool. Brian over in Ireland too. He always shows them off. So like it's cool to get to see them. With AEW figures, I just, for whatever reason, they'll announce a character that I really like or a wrestler that I really like, and I'm excited for it. And then I see it in the store and I'm like, put it back on the shelf. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it that like, it's not appealing to me to get. Like, it doesn't really fit with anything else that I have. So it's just kind of be like the one standout thing. You know what I mean?
Right. I get it. I got the when they announced the Zelina Vega, I picked that one up.
Okay.
And then of course Mr. T. So that was pretty much it.
Yeah. And you guys you and Connor both did the same thing with that.
He did. I did a head swap and he actually made a custom figure, which is pretty cool. Right.
Yeah. No, there's like every once in a while I'll see them. I'm sure like if I found like one I really liked on clearance or something like that, I'd definitely pick it up. But I could never like get back into fully collecting wrestling figures again. Never.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Sleeping?
How's it going? Joined us. Okay, so I'm going to ask this as the last question I'll ask you, and then we'll get into maybe talking about the figures from this week. Mm-hmm. If you could only collect one line of figures,
what would it be?
Yeah. That's always a tough one. No.
So now Star Wars is my bread and butter, right? But if I only had to pick one, it would be GIJOE Classifieds.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that a little bit because that's a very interesting thing.
So, like, even take Duke for instance, right? Like one of the early ones that came out, still has better articulation, still comes with more stuff, and it's still cheaper than Star Wars right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so for the we were on Dude's channel, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Me and Super John were talking about like money and value, and I think right now, with the way the prices are going, with the way things are going, I think you're smarter like collecting where you're getting your value. So if you feel like with Marvel Legends, for instance, where they're cutting back with hands and heads and extra accessories, but you're still paying the same price. But yet, Joe, you could pay $2 cheaper and get more stuff with it. It's like,
all right. The price points are really weird, right? Like that Craven's going to be $27.99. A GI Joe is what, like $22.99, $24.99, and a Black Series is what, like $24.99. So the pricing is really weird. It's across the board, but I think when you look at the way G.I. Joe versus these other properties, they don't have to pay somebody else for the license. So I get, so in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, they're saving me the money because they're not paying somebody for a license. So if they just arbitrarily hiked up the price, I'd be like, wait a minute, guys, come on, right? But
it's weird though, because I have a feeling. Well, I have a feeling we're going to talk about it with some of the GI Joe stuff. But with like Power Rangers, their brands are still priced the same as Marvel Legends or Star Wars, and that's not one they're paying for a license for anymore.
Okay, so is it because that they feel like that property is more valuable? Because
could be,
in a way, because they feel like, oh, it has a wider like group of people that are interested in it, right? Like a wider age group, because you still have your generation, which grew up on like the Power Rangers in the 90s. I mean, that was your show when you were like probably 15, 16, whatever. And I was like just past it, but I still have a little bit because I lived overseas. My military family, we lived overseas, and I got to watch that original kind of the Super Sentai, which was the Power Rangers, whatever property they came from. So I'm familiar with it. And then you have like your generation where you have kids, and you know, you're like revisiting, and you're putting your kids in front of maybe like the Power Rangers or something. Or when you think like, oh, I'm going to buy them a toy, you're going to buy them the Power Rangers. So I wonder if that property is, because it's so new, it has that value over multiple generations. I don't know. I mean,
it could very well be. And I think because of the fact that it's one of the brands for Hasbro that still has a TV show, still has stuff going. Like G.I. Joe, you know, we talk about it all the time. They have nothing going on. They have this great toy line that we all love right now, and like really is probably the best toy line out right now. But they have no television, they have no animated series, and then the comics ended 4 months ago, and there's been no room, you know, nothing as far as like where are they going, who's picking them up. There's no. Larry Hama said that like the story's going to continue, so wherever like the story left off is going to continue from there, but we don't know anything as far as that. But I think they'd be smart if they pulled, you know, if they pulled the movie or television universe and the comics and the toys and brought that all together like as one property. Here's G.I. Joe Classified. You'd be set.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be like that wave, like when you know, like when I was a kid, and I'm sure you were younger too, like when G.I. Joe started, they were capitalizing on those properties and getting it out there to people. And like you were saying with Power Rangers, it's generational. G.I. Joe could be generational. It's just for whatever reason, it's lacking.
They need a visual. They need a visual property to push that, because I think I mentioned, well, okay, so Gerard's here. I just want to say hello to him. Wheels of Doom is agreeing with you, and so did Jonathan about the value. He's saying there, Saw Gerrera is $75, which is ridiculous, and Vintage Collection are $35. I think that is crazy. Jonathan, Hasbro, no, they can charge more for brands like Star Wars and Marvel. I think that's true. I think I did a video one time, and I think I can't remember what it was about, but my catchphrase, because I don't know if you remember, I was doing like these rants a lot, and I was trying to figure out how to throw in like a catchphrase in there so I could do a short from it. And I was like, you can't just slap Star Wars on it and think people are going to buy it or something like that. I think that was like my thing. And
but that's almost what they're doing nowadays with the brand, and it's tough, you know, as somebody who like loves the Star Wars brand. It's tough to sit there and watch it like.
Sure.
Almost like they don't want the license, you know?
Yeah, but here's the crazy part about me saying you can't just put Star Wars on something and then think nobody's going to buy it, because, you know, then I end up with stuff like this, like a Funko Pop keychain, a little candy dispenser with Darth Vader. You know what I mean? So realistically, you can just put Star Wars on it.
and people will buy it. Disney's proof of that. You go to the Disney park, all that stuff's just like slap a Star Wars name tag on it and we'll sell it in the park.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. So with Hasbro, I think you sent me something, and I don't, for some reason, I don't like to put like tweets up that often or whatever. Right. But like, you sent me something where there were like some more layoffs at the, was it more layoffs for Power Rangers?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
they got rid of the person that was just on the stream. I'm not sure of the proper term to use. They, I guess, would be the proper term. They got rid of them that were on the stream. So
now, I wonder if their shift is like, let's get rid of these people who are making more money doing our like marketing, or not our marketing, but our like brand people, whatever the visuals, and then we'll just spend more money on the design, like the back designer or whatever, the actual artist. Because I'm imagining that, like, if you're designing like a figure, right, like you work on a design team, you have people who are actually doing the designing, and then you have the guy who kind of like oversees the overall designing, then you have like a manager who manages multiple people who are doing the designing. So out of those people, who do you want to cut, right? So maybe they're just getting rid of this guy because they don't need an individual to cover multiple brands. Like they stuck Patrick on the Indiana Jones, and it probably really isn't that much more work for him to look at a bunch of different versions of Indiana Jones. You know what I mean?
And it's a lot of the same style that they're using. Yeah.
So I mean, it's easy for him to say, okay, got a designer for Indy and a designer for Star Wars, and I'll just look at all their designs, and then we can get rid of this guy and bump them out, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of, so the one thing that like some people have been saying is that sculpting now, they want to just outsource the sculpting. They don't want to have, because they do which makes sense, because I mean they do that for a lot of the things with Harding and Gentle Giant and stuff like that, where like those other companies sculpt it and send it to them, and then they make the figure. So that was the thing that I heard regarding like Corey per se, was like, oh, they're getting away from having in-house sculptors. But
I mean, if you think
to counteract that, the Power Rangers brand is really having QC issues, you know, out the ass right now.
Okay, so I had gotten that blue Lightning Ranger, but I want to go back to that outsourcing, because if you know Left Coast Graphics, he does some outsourcing work for, and he does great stuff. If you guys know him, go check out his pins and stuff like that, because they are really, really good. But he does some stuff for Gentle Giant. But going back to the Power Rangers, I had that Power Rangers, and the bike was just kind of crappy. Like he couldn't hold on to the handlebars without ruining the plastic on the hands. And I did notice there was like a wobble in the legs, but I was trying to figure out what it was. So I was really looking at it closely, trying to figure out what it was. And it has that little pivot joint in the leg, you know, where you can get more articulation. Yeah, that's okay. So I think that like that extra pivot just is maybe like, I don't think it's the design. Yeah, I don't think it's the design of it. I think it's the manufacturing of it is flawed somehow. Like they just couldn't perfect that.
Like if you're holding the figure in your hand, the whole thing wobbles. The legs, they're still tight joints, but
yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's something.
It just wobbles, and then the head on the neck joint wobbles too.
Yes, so there's just something about it where it's like not perfectly fitted, and I almost think that's from production and not from design.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could be a design thing, but I think it's more so with the production. I agree in that aspect, because the joints, like we were saying, it's not the joints. It's not like the joints are breaking, but in some cases, for some people, they have been with the new Dino Charge figures.
Yeah. So
Fury figures.
So when Kenner was doing Star Wars originally, this is my understanding, and please, anybody who out there who knows more than me, please chime in, and I'll be happy to just bypass your comment. But no, I'm just kidding. But so when Kenner was doing the Star Wars figures and they were releasing them in Mexico, this is what I understand. So I think this is right. Mexico was like, yeah, we're going to sell Star Wars figures in Mexico, but they have to be produced here.
Mm.
So they had to open a factory. It was Lily Letty and was the brand, but they still said Kenner on them or whatever. And from what I understand, the way they made the molds were they made molds from figures. They didn't actually get molds to make the figures. They actually got a figure and then made a mold and then started producing figures. That's why there's like slight differences or something like that. And they're not as
sense.
detailed or something.
Yeah.
And that's what I always thought. And this is like, I never researched it after the internet came around, but this is what I remember, right? Like, and so I don't know if they moved production of the Power Rangers to somewhere else, and if they said, "Oh, well, we'll just take a figure apart and make molds."
I mean, it's very possible, because I've been noticing it with certain things. Like, we know they're all different factories, but certain brands get made at the same factory, so we're aware of that. And I do notice it on certain things. Like, for a while, you were seeing this same issue with GI Joe, like when GI Joe was early on. So for all we know, they could have just swapped GI Joe and Power Rangers, and now they're in.
They got all the molds. Yeah, they got all the molds when they were setting up the factory, and they're like, "Where does this peg? Which figure does this mold?"
But it's like the same exact issue, because like I can grab Snake Eyes from series, the first series of GI Joe. Same issue. I can shake them, and everything moves on them. So, it very well could be just an assembly issue.
All right, it could be. That's what I think. I think they got some sort of manufacturing problem. So Jonathan's going back to when we were talking about the different prices for the brand, and that Hasbro doesn't have to pay for GI Joe, and he's asking, does Funko charge more for Star Wars Pops compared to the prices of other franchises they make? And to be completely honest, I don't know, because I don't buy Funkos.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think I have a single one anywhere. No, I don't.
All right, Holocronicals is here. Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Nice to see you.
Hey,
yeah, he had a video. He was talking about his happy place, and then he had that showed his toy room. Oh my gosh, dude. Jealous. That's all. Hey, Brian. Brian's here.
Hey, Brian.
So Sonny and Wheels of Chaotic Doom are having a nice conversation about going to the beach, hanging out.
Out in Australia. Hey, man, Sonny's got to meet people.
Fresh Brian. Let's see.
But yeah, I'm wondering. So part of me is like we saw the earnings call the other day with Hasbro, and I'm wondering, they did name that Power Rangers was one of the brands that like is not hitting the stride that the other brands are. So I'm wondering, like, does that have something to do with it? All those QC issues and broken figures, and is that why these people are getting laid off, or does it have more to do with them just trying to cut back and cut out pieces they feel they can?
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, like, it's value, right? Like, it's unfortunate with like all the cutbacks and stuff like that. And it's interesting because I was reading an article about another really popular company that probably everybody orders from and has a membership to, and they deliver in a day. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but you might guess who they are, right? They have a streaming service, a music service, and they bring you stuff regularly in your. But the article I was reading was like how there's one manager saying that they have a quota to release a certain amount of people. Like when they're rating their employees, they have to put a certain percentage of their employees in this crummy employee bucket, regardless, So if they have like
because it's like a filter out system.
Yeah, and if they got 25%, even if this number 7 dude is a star, they still got to rate him low. It's just a bizarre thing to think like that's how things work.
And to kind of piggyback on what the one question was earlier about like the plastic free, I think that is having a lot to do with those QC issues. Like, I think it all is connected hand in hand, because now, like, in the factories, they're not able to see that. They're just putting it in the box and shipping it off. If the figure's broken while it got packaged into that box, they're not going to see that until whoever opens it. You know what I mean? Or it's missing accessories, or it has double of this accessory, or it's just one problem falling into the other, I think. And I think it's just a steady pace of stuff that's been a culmination now. And now they're like, oh, well, we got to let go people. Okay. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, Dave's here. He's been doing some tech reviews on stuff, right? Like lately.
Yeah.
And man, you almost had me downloading this new video editing software. I'm like this close to getting that one. But it looked pretty good. I usually use a combination on my Mac of iMovie, Final Cut Pro, and then I use a program called Motion. And Motion, you can do different stuff, like you can add like different kinds of effects. It just takes a while, right? But the problem I'm having with Motion is leaving like a little square. But like apparently this software that he was like highlight, I can't remember the name. I have to go back and look at the video. There's a way to do like remove like something from the screen really easily, and then bring the background back out. Like, so if I'm doing like stop motion and I'm using like this, I could potentially remove this piece from the image. Yeah. It looked pretty good, and I think I'm going to give it a try just to see if it works out for me.
Yeah, I found a good Power Rangers channel through a friend of Dave's, I guess, Legacy of Nerds. So,
Legacy of Nerds?
Yeah. Dave, I guess, jumps on his channel, so that's how I came across it, and then I started following the channel.
All right. Let's see. All right. What I'm going to do, hold on, let's see. Laugh Out Loud. Phil Mora, that's the one. He got me on it, but I'm on the verge of maybe trying to learn Da Vinci. Ooh, good luck with that.
Big thought thing.
I had tried to teach myself many years ago this program called Oracle. I don't know if you're into programming or anything.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, how hard could this be? I learned DOS. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
No, there's some programs that like you'll pick up real quick, and then there's other programs that like, oh my God, is this in a whole nother language? I can't figure it out. Appleton used to be that way. That used to be like a music app that used to be the same way. It used to be like so complicated for no reason.
That they have their music program. I can't remember what GarageBand. And I'm trying to think, like, can I make a song without an instrument? And I was trying to mess around with it, thinking like, oh, but it's all like tempo and stuff like that. Like you can tell it to string chords or whatever. But
yeah.
I can't get it to sound right. So I'm like, I don't know. It's above my.
You just got to play with it. That's what it all goes down to.
Yeah. Okay. Captain Spaulding is here. Let's see.
Hey, what's up?
Marsupial's here.
Sunny and chaotic, having a full conversation. Fundraiser for Duff Man.
Yeah, there's a fundraiser for the Duff Man. So if you guys get a chance, check that out. G-Force, are you not? Yeah, you are. Okay, so he was able to get the link in there. There's the link.
Okay.
I don't have many moderators on my channel, and he's one of them. But I actually had a moderator before that I've had to remove because of some of the links they would throw in there. I don't know. Anyways, so let's start this portion. This is the toy duo, right? Like, so this is I do this little spreadsheet. I did these 3 figures, and I think it goes back to what you were talking about earlier with like the nostalgia factor, right? With these Dungeons and Dragons. So when we get to those, I'll talk about my nostalgia factor. And even though the disappointment I had with the original figures that came out, I'm definitely in on the wave too.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to at least finish the collection of it. I get that too. Like those are the last 3 figures you need. Like, all right.
Yeah. So let's just take a look at this guy. So we're
starting off hot. Okay. All right.
I think we just got to get this out of the way, right? So these are from somebody's Facebook page. They were posted up on Twitter. And the thing is there's a lot of complaints about this face sculpt, right? And I understand it because it's like, who is this guy or whatever? But like, But I will tell you what I really think about this face sculpt, because I saw a lot of people like hammering it. I think you hammered this face sculpt like, oh, this is going to be the first figure I don't buy. Do you want him to look like Flint or Duke? Or because it seems like they've used the Duke face sculpt multiple times. They used it for Dusty, right?
That's one thing,
Yeah, so do we just want them to keep using the same heads again? Because if you go back to Marvel Legends and look at all the female characters, they all have the same, used to have the same face. They just put different hair and they painted them differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we're getting a completely different, unique face and head to go with another character. So he's definitely going to look different than the rest of the guys, because otherwise it's going to be like these comic books I drew when I was a kid, where the only difference was some guys had a mustache and some guys had a mustache. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people's issue with this one, though, is compared to the photos we saw when this was announced, and like the initial sculpt of it, and then the really, like, these pictures are better than some of the ones that we saw floating around, because some of them some of them made him look like Mickey Rourke, like with a bad you know, like he just got into a fight and then got bad plastic surgery after. Like,
they look like he had like makeup on in some of the pictures.
Like collagen got injections, something along those lines. Like, just it just looked off. But like, he's supposed to be Duke's brother, so I mean, like, shouldn't he have like some similarity to Duke a little bit?
Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
No, you know, Sean Cassidy and God, I can't remember the other guy's name. The one that was on Baywatch for a while. But no, so like the way I think about it in this is like, so pictures are different. And if you go back on my channel and you watch, like when I was doing maybe around the time that Shang-Chi figures came out, and you watch what I did with those figures, I was using like a different color light. And I watch them back now and I think like, boy, these are like, this looks really awful. Like, even if you were not listening or whatever, and you're watching it, it's like it's washing out a lot of the figure, and it's adding like a really weird coloration and stuff like that. So I think it's all about how somebody took a picture.
It could be. It could very well be. And it could just be that some people just got bad face prints on it too. Like, unfortunately, again, back to the plastic free, like, that's going to be an issue with this. It's just, I don't know. When I saw it, my first reaction was, you know what? I can wait this one out. I don't need this one the minute it comes out. I'll be able to find this. You know what I mean? Like, that was my first reaction when I saw the pictures of it.
Yeah. So Connor saying like, yeah, it's poor paint apps. So I agree. Like,
yeah. I was gonna say, even the colorings, like on his uniform compared to the original pictures and like when he was showing off, it doesn't look right. Like, it doesn't look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dave calls him a bad Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'll tell you that's pretty hilarious. But if you've ever seen this movie called Streets of Fire, the actor in it is Michael Paré. He was also in a film later where he was like a pilot. Yeah. And when I first saw this, I was like, was that Michael Paré, or is that the drill sergeant from Stripes?
And then Brian was saying he looks like Matt Damon from Team America.
Okay. Yeah, it's possible. I think he kind of looked like in those first pictures I saw, I thought he looked like the Charlie McCarthy marionette, the one that the talking puppet. Yeah. Lieutenant Fallon, he looks like a Team America. There you go. Steve-O's here.
Hey, Steve-O.
Like Star Wars.
With this one and with Outback, I figured the other Outback was going to clearance. It's still on clearance currently, and like, I can still find him plentiful in stores. So I definitely, with these two, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna cancel my pre-order on this one and Outback, and I'll just wait them out and see, you know, how cheap I can get them.
It does look kind of different. I mean, I didn't do any full body pictures of the figure, but I think if we pick this one apart, we would easily be able to tell you that this is probably just a head swap, right?
Oh yeah, probably more than likely. That's probably what a lot of people are going to do. I already saw people like automatically, hey, here's a new 3D print of a Flint, you know, that I did or whatever. But it's tough because like you want to build that movie team now that you got Slaughter. So like you want Flint, you want Law and Order, you want, you know, the rest of that squad to start being able to put together. So it's tough, but I definitely think like he falls in the same category as Flint. Like I think you're going to be able to get him pretty easily. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's going to be one that's like flying off the shelf.
Right. Now, Captain Spaulding is here saying he sucks at taking pictures and videos, and I just have something to say about that. I don't think you should say that, because the truth of the matter is, like, when you start taking pictures or you start shooting videos, I think it's different for everybody, right? And like the more you do it, the kind of better composure and composition you can get on stuff. And it just takes, you know, time to figure out like how you want to compose or something like that. Because I take pictures and sometimes I'm looking at them and was like, you know, how did 7 people like this picture?
You know what's funny? Something I've learned, like, so I did a lot of like regular photography for people, you know what I mean? And took a lot of shots, and doing regular photography or like even filming something yourself compared to like shooting with toys, it is hard. Like there's a lot of stuff you got to learn to do. And like, you got to be willing to be really creative with stuff. And like, what can I use to make this? Or how can I do this? Or how can I set it up? It's fun, but it's also like challenging at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a very different thing because the scale and perspective is completely different than what you
and the composition. You know, you want to get the lighting right because unless like you're shooting outside in a real environment, you know what I mean? It's tough sometimes when you're inside, like trying to mimic, like, all right, this is how I want it to look, but how do I do that? And it's just kind of trial and error.
I think it is very interesting though that once you start doing it a while and you get used to like shooting like things from different angles, how like you will end up wanting to put that into your real life pictures, you know, like to shoot stuff from a different vantage point. Okay, let's move on. So I know that we talked about these last week, but I thought I'd throw it up there and give everybody in the chat to either thumbs up or thumbs down whether or not they pre-ordered them this week.
I think we all were on. I know Connor's on the bandwagon. I know a bunch of us all. So like, I don't have any McFarlanes, no McFarlanes whatsoever. The only DC stuff I have is like from DC Direct prior. Okay. So like I have a couple of the new 52 figures. So this is for me going to be my first ever McFarlane like in hand to check out and play with. But
I think you're gonna, I think you're gonna like them.
Yeah, I could not pass it up. Like originally I was just like Joker and Batman, that's it. But then I kept looking at Bane and I was like, man, how cool would Bane be to like fight with the Joes and like just break some Joes, you know, like.
Well, I have Bane in a 6-inch scale because they made them in that when Mattel was doing a 6-inch. So I have that Bane. I don't have any of the other ones. Like I don't have a Heath Ledger Joker or anything like that. But I did not. So I didn't pre-order any because of the scale.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I can understand that because it is like another inch. And that's mainly why I've never gotten into them. I'm not a fan of the package either. Like if I was going to buy them and keep them in box, I don't even like the way they look in box. So that's always what kind of turned me off from them.
These guys are going to look awesome. I'm not saying that I wouldn't get something in a 7-inch scale. It's just like to get them in like mass, like maybe 1 or 2. Like to me, that Christian Bale Batman just looks awesome. Right. So like if I
and like those two were the ones for me. That's really like what sold me on it.
Yeah. If I ever see it in store, I'll probably pick it up just to have the Batman. I mean, I do have a PlayArts Kai Batman that I have up on my shelf. So I mean, I can't say that, but like the Bane would be cool in the scale because he's just a bigger guy, right?
Yeah.
But but in a way,
Scarecrow,
it's
I'm
kind
not
of
crazy about. Like Scarecrow, I could have not bought him at all. Same with Two-Face. It was just mainly for me, like, all right, if I'm gonna buy them, I would like to have Bane. Let me just do it. And I know McFarlane's like, for the most part, you can get them on clearance. You can wait them out.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know about this wave because I wasn't sure. Like,
Sure.
Even one of my buddies who does it, he only picks stuff up here and there. He pre-ordered 2 of these, so like he got the full wave to open and build Bane, and then another one to keep in box.
So he's imagining that these may retain their value.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. Rolando saying no. Of course, Connor saying choo choo. Like they're on the train. Rolando maybe getting the Heath Ledger Joker.
Okay.
Maybe. And then Wills of Chaotic Doom is looking like.
And the fact that he comes with the stack of money, that's gonna look great for figure photography. I was already talking to our friend Bill about like, hey, how hard would it be to scan that stack of money and make more of those?
You know what's really funny about that? Like, I think you can almost like make your own money.
Yeah.
I almost
you could.
like, you know what I mean? Like, how hard would it be to like get a piece of paper, run it through a color printer with like little tiny bills all over it, cut them all out, and then put them in a stack?
And then, it'd be a lot of time consuming, but you could absolutely do it. I mean, you could build it as big as you wanted to. You could even light it on fire if you wanted to.
Well, theoretically, right? Couldn't you just even find like a little block or something like that, and then just glue like a dollar? Yeah, glue like a printed dollar on one side and the other side, and maybe even do it that way.
Yeah, you could.
Different ways to do it. Let's see. G-Force is definitely getting them. I had no doubt that G-Force is going to get them, but I'm wondering, is he going to order them or is he going to drive to 22 Targets to find them?
To hunt down each one. I thought I was surprised that they got bumped up a whole nother month. Like literally, I just pre-ordered them, and then last night they got bumped up a whole month. So they went from April to March.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. They'll be here sooner then.
Yeah,
and those
they'll be here. They'll be here probably in the next couple weeks. Yeah,
and those Joes got pushed back a month.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Wills of Chaotic Doom is definitely as a Joker collector, so that one, of course, is a must. They don't like Steve-O says, I don't understand the Scarecrow figure. I don't remember him looking anything like that in the Nolan trilogy.
That's what I was saying. Like I remember suit with the hood and the noose, but I don't remember like the straight jacket until I guess the straight jacket's like the second one, right? Because that's when he's in the straight jacket.
I don't know. So G-Force is going to go around. He is going to drive to 22 Targets.
I love G-Force. He's great.
All right. So I did these Mezcos. Are you into these 112 figures?
No, I did see them though, because somebody posted them in the group.
So the thing is about the 112, like, because they have that Batman, that 112 Batman that's on order right now. And the thing is about the 112s is the cloth clothing, right? I'm not into it. Like I had plenty of those Mego figures growing up, those superheroes and stuff. They all had
that had like the cloth jumpsuit and everything.
Yeah, and I felt like they all wore or the seams ripped and stuff like that over time. So it's kind of like, for me, I mean, I pose everything, leave it out. I think over time that fabric would just deteriorate or get snagged on something, and I would just be mad, especially at the price
I can
point.
see that.
But
and they're saying for the price that you're paying for them too.
But saying that, this does look pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, and this is Firefly. Is that who that is?
Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Okay, yeah.
I think so.
That looks sweet. I mean, that's the really version we all want in classified.
Yeah. See, Captain, I ordered the Jester replica Puppet Master through Full Moon Direct.
Okay.
Is there a reason why Hasbro and Mezco are giving Firefly TNT in the age of C4 and Simta? Because they are still in 1984. Oh, you know what? I have to say this. if they didn't give him TNT and they gave him C4, right? How many people would then be complaining like, well, the original didn't have C4?
Yeah. That's what it comes down to, though. Like, and that's why I think they did what they did with like Snow Job, where like you have everything you could possibly want with Snow Job, like full version.
Oh, but he didn't really come with those types of shoes.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing that updated 2023 snow jacket? He didn't have that.
Yeah. But
what about
they got you with everything.
Yeah. What about this Living Dead thing from Mezco? Interested?
That's pretty crazy, but no.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw it in there.
That's cool.
It was revealed.
Like,
so.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I just dropped.
That's creepy looking.
All right, so I have to say that like Wave 1 was a little bit disappointing of these Dungeons and Dragons figures because of the articulation. The overall quality wasn't like 100%. I mean, to me, I'm like, oh, I feel like this is like you now have an opportunity to make these things very nostalgic. Go all out and take your time and, you know, do them right. The look of them are fantastic in a way. I think that they really do capture the nostalgia in a way. With that said, you can't not get the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, especially for you who already like you have all of them except these three. These are the three you're missing. Yeah. So it's like you need these three to complete the team. Like you have to complete the team at this point.
But I will say that like I'm happy with all the accessories that he's going to come with.
Yeah, I mean, for what they look like I don't remember the toys from like when I was a kid. I remember the show being on, but not vividly, you know what I mean? Right. So to see these, like they bring back memories of like seeing clips of the show or seeing when it was on. But they look cool. I just feel unfortunate for people that like they went to clearance right away, and some like around by me, they didn't really sell it all. Like they're all just still sitting on the shelves at clearance.
Yeah. I've been seeing them on clearance, and I've getting them to adjust the prices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The second wave of Dungeons and Dragons figures are available now for pre-order apparently, and it says August, so they should be out in August.
Yeah, and the movie figures, they're just sitting on my shelves. Like nobody knows what to do with them.
That's a problem with putting out a figure before the property hits. It's like you don't know what to think. It was like they did the same thing with that Eternals wave, and they just sat there and then people went and saw the movie and was like, yeah, no wonder they're still sitting there. Anyways, so Eric looks really good, and I mean, he doesn't have as much, but he's got that shield, and then he's got the blast effect that goes onto the shield, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So I mean, it's going to be wonky, probably just like the rest of them. But I think like overall, of course, just adding them to the collection. So if you guys are Dungeons and Dragons fans, like I was, then I'm definitely getting them. Sonny is not a fan of the D&D cartoon and toys, but that has been because I was used to more mature stories like Dragonlance. And I get it. I mean, like if you play Dungeons and Dragons and you were like reading comics or anything like that, or books or magazines and stuff, then yeah, you're really captured into that realm, right? That world. The D&D figures are on clearance. Where did you find them on clearance? So yeah, my Target had the Dungeon Master and Vengar for $24.99. So they adjusted me down. And then the Hank and those guys have been around $7.50.
Yeah, they've been on clearance for quite a while, like a couple weeks now at least.
Yeah. So this is the one that I think is very interesting because I know they're not going to do interchangeable legs or anything like that, right? But I do like the fact that they added that sort of invisibility into the cloak.
Yeah.
So if you see where they have a second cloak with the hood up, or a second backing, because when she throws the hood up, she turns invisible. And so like you can see the cloak in the second picture up on the top, where the cloak is starting to become clear,
invisible there.
Yeah.
So that's what they did as the accessory. They just gave you two cloaks.
2 cloaks, right? But I'm interested to think, like, if this line were to continue, would we then get an invisible or a partially invisible figure?
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see, does this line continue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is this just to get them out and be done with it? You know what I mean? Or does this continue out of here? Are there more characters for them to make outside of like who they made?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got some of the enemy, the little skeleton soldiers or whatever, and then you know, of course, you can do like a massive Tiamat dragon.
Well, yeah,
anyway,
you've been wanting the dragon, and now there's that one at Walmart. Are you going to pick that one up? That dragon from
No, maybe if I ever see it on clearance or whatever. I thought about how I could get that dragon, and then when the Shang-Chi wave, let's see, hold on. When Shang-Chi was out, they had this guy.
Yeah.
In the department. It wasn't that in the action figure aisle, but I always imagine like if I could come up with like 5 of these, I already have the necks and heads. I could theoretically paint them different colors. And then I would just need like some sort of a body with like wings. So that body with wings could potentially legitimately be, you know,
your dragon. Yeah, no, that could work.
I don't know how it would scale very well. Like to be able to assemble it, I'd have to do some modifications, but
I was looking at it. My only complaint with it was like it wasn't very articulated. Like it's just a basic articulation on it.
Yeah. So Wheels of Chaotic Doom says in the 70s and 80s when he was growing up, he wasn't involved in the D&D, but he was around it. It was around, but it bypassed him completely. And that might have been because your parents watched Mazes and Monsters. So if you don't know what that is, Mazes and Monsters was this movie that came out. It was Tom Hanks was in it. And it was like the dangers of playing Dungeons and Dragons because these guys played at Mazes and Monsters, which was kind of like the TV movie version of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. And the guy goes crazy and he's like seeing the creatures and stuff like that.
So it's almost what Stranger Things like ripped off of.
No, it's more like a ABC after school special warning you not to play Dungeons and Dragons. But
that's what I mean. That's almost where like Stranger Things took that inspiration. I'm wondering from.
Oh, maybe
probably
right.
Yeah,
maybe. Let's see. So Rolando likes the D&D cartoons. Monkey Jeebus just ordered the second wave. D&D in 89. You can use NECA Dungeons and Dragons guys as bad guys. That's true. They can do that. Let's see. Not in Florida, but the shelves are full of D&D figures. Yes, they will eventually go on clearance. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
If they're on shelves and they're not buying them. Let's see. On clearance.
And I think too, because like a lot of people I don't think know what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't think a lot of people are I think if you're familiar with the property, you are. If not, you're just walking by that stuff on the shelf like, okay, like
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, Raphael saying he canceled his Quantumania pre-orders because the movie wasn't good enough. I haven't seen it yet, so no comment. There will be no spoilers.
I did watch the spoilers and got the cutscenes, so I did see that. I know what happens and how it all happens, but yeah, no spoilers.
Dragons in the upcoming D&D movie. Oh yeah, maybe. That would be interesting if they come out with a giant movie one. That would actually be pretty cool. Or if somehow they decide to do a HasLab for the D&D and make it the dragon, and then bill it as
and then pay you a fee for coming up with that idea.
Well, all right. So, anyways, they came out with these stunt. They called them stunt heroes or
something like that. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know who collects these like little tiny figures, except for like probably Geek Strong will probably be all over these. But I thought there are people that like these little tiny like figures, and I have to say, you know, like although I'm not like probably gonna get any, I may see one that I say, oh, I want that just for the little tiny little Spider-Man or something like it, because this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Venom, right? And then they also had these two sets that came out, and you know, if you're looking at like if for like a kid or whatever, like $20. I mean, I don't know. I might get that one just for the Captain America.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to put them in your car, then I don't know.
I think this will be another thing that's like in the clearance bin before you know it.
This is obviously geared for kids, right? Like we were talking about.
That's what I'm saying. I still think though this, like even kids nowadays, they don't, you know, like.
You don't think they want that? I mean, but like a parent who's into like Marvel, right? Like that's got like
they might pick this up for their kids or something like that. Yeah, I could see that. Or like, I guess this is supposed to be their solution to what's the DC one that they do? That's like small little figures and play sets and stuff.
I
you know what I'm talking about? That's made for like that age group.
Well, so like I gave my my grandson some of those little retro Marvel Legends, and he just rips them out and loves them, and they're little 5 POAs or whatever. But I wonder how he would react to something like this. So I'm just
he might, especially like if it's like it looks like they're interactive-y, like there's like features to
like
them, you know what I mean? Like MODOK looks like he might be able to like fly a little bit, and look, Iron Man looks like he shoots something. Like that might be cool.
Interesting. Yeah, almost. Yeah, Wheels of Chaotic Doom, Kinder Surprise figures. These almost look like something you might get out of the Kinder Surprise egg.
Yeah.
Steve knows what it is. Stunt Squad. So they must have been on his pre-order list. He must have the all 5 sets already.
Steve got the whole thing ready to go.
Supposedly, some of these sets are already in store.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, yeah, in Target, and then later on elsewhere. So we'll see. I haven't seen them yet. Okay, so anyways,
hunting in like a couple weeks now. There's really nothing like out for me to go hunt.
Yeah, I haven't been out there looking either. I am interested to see, like, since this next GI Joe wave looks like it could be coming, like sometimes like a Target or a Walmart might end up getting figures way before the release date, and they stick them out there. So I am curious to see how that.
Yeah, the last thing I did was what you did. I got the idea from you on the clearance section.
Nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is.
I might make it an Omega. I'm not sure yet.
Hold on. Oh, pull that up again. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I have like a bunch of parts. I was thinking painting the hair blonde and using it for like a grown-up Omega.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that will work.
We'll see. I got like parts over here that I was painting and playing around with.
All right, so this is the Ant-Man. I think they have like a Toy Biz version. I don't know if they had like another Legends version, but I mean, like, okay, so are all these Ant-Man figures coming out because they're gonna try to capitalize on the idea that there was an Ant-Man movie, right? Because we got future Ant-Man, we got the whole Marvel the movie wave, and then like the following week we get this Ant-Man reveal or whatever, and I'm kind of like, he looks cool. I mean, I guess that's the Ant-Man that I have in my poster. So, I mean, I was really interested in finishing that one. I almost think though that like I would like an Ant-Man like this. They should come out and he should have a little tiny Ant-Man in the box.
Well, see, that's what they have done this Ant-Man before, but it was in the box set. So what it was it was a little tiny Ant-Man. It was a Marvel Universe scale Ant-Man. It was a 6-inch scale Ant-Man, and then it came with a Giant Man, and that was the box set that they did.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I remember that, but I'm not sure if that was technically part of the Marvel Universe line or if that was part of Legends.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
But they have done like smaller versions. But I agree. When I saw this, I was like, all right, well, where's like the Ant and where's the smaller version of him? You're just getting the figure. That's it. Like nothing else. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, especially because like the movie's not gonna. The movie's not.
I think that's the whole idea, though, right? There's a movie coming out, so it's foremost in everybody's mind, and then hey, let's crank out all the Ant-Man figures we can.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm imagining,
I guess they think like, oh well, at least we can cater to everybody. We're giving you the future one, we're giving you the current one, and then we're giving you the MCU version.
Yeah, so maybe we're gonna see a comic version of the Wasp here right around the corner, or did they just recently do one? Yeah,
probably.
So, all right,
that
so
was my thought with that though. With no accessories, like that was a really weird move for them to do.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get Kraven the Hunter, and I'm guessing this is absolute for you because it's on the Spider-Man retro card.
Yeah.
Right. To go up with the rest of them. But how do you feel about the figure?
So the figure is pretty much full reuse of the last one, right? Like there's not much difference to this and the last one.
I almost think that who's that? The X-Men, the Indian guy, because those legs look a lot like his legs, and then those little flaps over the boots.
Okay, like Warpath or Thunderbird.
Yeah. So I'm like, to me, the coolest thing about this is I'm totally going to get this guy and throw that little jacket on Rakondo.
Oh yeah, that'll look cool. Yeah, because I saw the picture that you did. To me, that's all it is. Like I remember this version of Kraven from this looks like the version from the animated TV show. So really cool in that regard. But yeah, I think it's the same exact Kraven that like came out a couple years ago. I don't really think there's much different to it other than just like the paint color.
Okay. So
I know the price is going to be, this is going to be what, 27, right?
Yeah. $27.99. Yeah.
That's
so
tough.
I think a lot of people are going to be like happy to get this on the card. I think he looks fantastic. I almost feel like a different face or a different head sculpt where he's not like gritting his teeth would have been nice. Just an alternate head or something like that.
That would have been perfect. Yeah.
There's like not a whole lot. Yeah. There's not a whole lot in that package for me to say it's worth $28. But I mean, I'm not collecting that retro line.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. For me, it would just be just to add it to the retro line. But there are certain ones in the retro line that like I've just passed on or canceled and never went back and got. So like I'm not even complete on it. So it may be one that when it comes down to it, because this is Walmart Collector Con, this is going to be one that like we're gonna have maybe 5 minutes to order along with what's his name, Jesse. So
okay, so for with that said about the Walmart Collector Con, probably if I were to get this, it will be available and it'll probably ship to me. But in all of the previous Walmart Collector Cons, whatever exclusive they've had, I've always been able to like order, and 85%, I would say 85% of the orders that I have made were canceled by Walmart before they ever shipped. Because they just
I had that happen with the Purge Troopers. I luckily did get Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man from Walmart Collector Con. But yeah, I'm still waiting on Joe's from the last one that, you know, the last of those retro Joe's. We have two more waves of those that we still are waiting on. But yeah, it's going to be one of those hit or miss things. And then if it does get shipped to you, is it damaged? Is it destroyed by the time it does get to you? That's another risk that comes in with Walmart.
So to me, it's like, I don't care if the card's damaged, because really all I want is the little vest, but I can live without it, right? So I'm going to have to find this in store and then think like, okay, I actually have $30 I'm going to spend on this guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
so for you, it might be one that you just like, I get it when I get it, if I get it type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just the novelty of swapping that thing. I mean, to me. All right. So what about these guys? So they came out with the Tracksuit Mafia.
These look cool.
I'm telling you, for the price point, right? I mean, it's a really
and
cool.
You can be able to use these with anything, with literally anything. Joe,
you got a bat,
Marvel Legends, Batman, whatever. Yep.
And then, of course, you get 3 heads. So to make a like a full set of the 3, you're going to need 3 of them. So you're already in for over $90 or close to $90 or whatever. But you don't need to get 3, right? If you're doing photography or whatever, because you could do like head swaps and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then I think it's really cool, you know. And
I
the
do
way
too, especially with the accessories that they come with, the Molotov, the crowbar, the golf club, the machete. Like you're going to be able to use those for figure photography, for everything. So it's really like, I think that's what it's geared towards, like people like us.
Yeah, I'm imagining putting all of like having 10 of them, putting all of my classified figures heads on the bodies and send them all out for a run.
Or even using them like as classified, you know, like fodder. They could be Cobra, you know, Cobra troopers or something like that. Like they have a lot of versatility. Like I said, like you can pretty much use them for anything, and the accessories that they come with. So I did not. Did you pre-order any of these, or are you just gonna wait them out?
No, I didn't. I'm just gonna wait.
Either. I'll wait these out. I'll find them in store, but yeah, I'll probably end up at least picking up one.
I could totally do Duke and Flint playing basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
In their tracksuits.
I would simply like pick. I know they're a little higher price point. I think they're 27, but I would pick it up just for like the accessories and the body, and just having the capability to do whatever with it. Like that's kind of cool. I do dig that.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Mr. B, hello.
Hey, Mr. B.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of having those little accessories that come with it. And I think for what it is, I mean, this is like, you know, the most full package you're going to get.
Yeah.
Legendary, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, that's worth it. Is it worth paying another $3 for everything? Yeah, maybe not. But you know what I mean? Like, at least you're getting value there for what you're paying for, as opposed to like what we just saw with Ant-Man with nothing.
Well, I think he comes with a couple of hands. Anyways, I did this picture. It shows the 3 of them up there together, and that's not even all the accessories. But if you had 3, that's how you could have them posed out, right? So
yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. And then you could put whatever head you want on there. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and then you could use this this masked face theoretically. Like you could throw that on Snake Eyes, right? Like, so he's sitting around with everybody, but doesn't want to expose his face, but he's tired of wearing his little. So he's just wearing the under mask or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these are worth it simply for the versatility of them. I think. I think because like you can literally use all of this stuff with anything. You're gonna be good with these.
So Valaverse Action Force had the Duster figure on sale for $12.99, and it was like buy 4 get 1. I haven't looked today to see if they're still available, but they made a video talking about why they put them on sale. And so basically that one is a figure that they made based on this MMA fighter who used to be like a soldier of fortune or whatever. And so they thought the guy's got over 1 million followers or whatever. So they thought his followers were gonna like buy the figures. So they purchased more figures of that character than any other figure, but they admit it just didn't work, right?
Yeah, it
didn't work. But that's why they're selling them off, because they're saying they got figures coming in the spring, they got summer, and they got fall, and they need the warehouse space, so they got to get. But that body is very universal. It's the one that I use for my Action Force Vern. So I think the gear on it looks really good. The vest and the body and everything. And I'm just imagining you buy one of these guys, you got 2 heads. If you were to get 2 $13 figures, you can throw like a couple of heads on there. And I think
and if you paint that body up too, like all you have to do is paint the t-shirt and like the vest or whatever, you're good. Like you could put whatever or whoever and have a whole squad.
Well, you can swap out. You could even swap out the vest for like a different one. Like maybe you throw this guy
kits or
or if you pick up a couple of more Recondos, you just throw on the cross strap with like the pistol or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool about the Valaverse stuff too. That you can you have that versatility. I've yet to find like a Joe body that like the selfie series actually like fits on. So I tweaked them again now because I needed the Inquisitor armor for for somebody else that I'm working on. I'll probably show that off over the weekend, but yeah. So
nice.
now he's got clone armor, and he's a little he's helping out.
Well, that guy keeps making all his rounds. Becomes a different figure every time I see him.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
I've been looking though for like a Joe body, but for whatever reason with the Joe neck, the head sits like too far up.
Yeah.
And you either got to like put something on around the neck, or I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I use that. I used the Mandalorian when I ordered mine, because it had the biggest peg, and I thought like it'll be easier to like shrink the hole inside the head than to try to make it bigger. Yeah. Steve-O's asking, when do you think Hasbro will finally phase out pin joints? And I say, in this economy, never.
Yeah, I think they're gonna keep milking those molds as long as they can, Steve-O. Like as bad as it is, like that's been dude's real gripe with them. It's like, all right, you guys have these bodies now. Why am I gonna pay you for figures that I want on these old bodies that you're just gonna redo again, and then I'm gonna have to pay for them again? Like, yeah. And that's kind of where he's been with collecting. So I understand it. It makes sense, because like with Joes, we said the same thing. Like once they went pinless, they haven't looked back, and it's like these Joes are incredible now that they're pinless. Like I don't know. And you're still seeing it with Marvel, where like they flip flop back and forth on different figures based off the body that they need.
Right. So Wills of Chaotic Doom, he's leaving to take his daughter to karate. Yes. Learn the martial arts of the masters. Let's see. When some crazy billionaire buys off Hasbro, privatizes it, and puts quality over cost. So once again, it's never.
Yeah.
Never. All right. Anyways, this is the Hot Toys, right?
Okay.
The Sideshow Batman and Batmobile that was announced, and so I just got to say, this Batman with this diorama piece. Tell me how many of you 1/6 scale Batman collectors are running out right now to get this Keaton Batman with this really cool background piece for $345.
And then the Batmobile price alone, that was the shocker. You and me were talking about it like, is this a package deal for the figure and the car, or is that just the car?
Yeah. So I will move on. So I mean, honestly though, I mean, that face just looks phenomenal, right? You got the blood on there. It just looks fantastic. And obviously, because it's a 6 scale, so it's a 12-inch figure, they can get some more details in there. Look at that. That just looks awesome. And anyway, Jonathan's saying, he's saying the 12-inch Batmobile and Batwing look epic, but the price, that's what we're talking about, the price. When you mind your quality, you'll cost long-term, you mind your costs. Okay.
You're right, Sonny. You're right.
The regular one is $200. So without that diorama piece, it's $200. And Connor is I Am Batman. So he didn't say choo choo. So now I'm confused. Is this coming to your house or not?
No, not for me. If McFarlane though did a Batman
like
like this, I'd be in on that too.
So they have the 112. It's 110, right? Yeah. So a 6-inch scale figure, 110, and it looks just as good, right? Like,
it looks incredible, and this looks phenomenal. But
does it look phenomenal for $715?
That's what I could never. It's over $1,000 for the whole set. I mean, it's fantastic, and if that's what you're into, I mean, you're collecting fewer and far between if you're mainly a Hot Toys collector. You know what I mean? Like you're not buying figures like we are on a constant basis.
Okay, so because I can't get that one, I have this one. I'm working my way up to the other one. So I checked out my couch yesterday, and I got $1.37 out of my couch to get me there. So there is a super chat function if you guys want me to buy this.
if you want to donate for the Batmobile.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know, we've heard rumors that McFarlane was supposed to do a 1/12 scale Batmobile like this and a Batwing or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see, but I would love a full like Keaton wave. Like, give me Michelle Pfeiffer, give me Danny DeVito, give me Keaton. I'd be set.
Now let me tell you, that Batwing, I saw a couple pictures of it, and like, okay, this is 715. That is crazy. There's no way I can pull that out of my pocket. There's just no way it's ever gonna happen, right? Like, yeah, Jonathan, not bad. Greed, right? It's 350. The thing about this like Batmobile though is I feel like the quality of it's going to be way better, and we got to remember this is a 6 scale, so it fits a 12-inch figure. So if that 12-inch figure fits in that one box area where he's sitting like this,
that's gonna look incredible.
Then the car is probably 40 inches long or something like that. So I'm imagining how big was that Batwing, right? Like, oh man, that would, Anyway, so I'm a $1.65 out of my couch. I got to go check my lazy boy, and then I'm gonna look.
You're almost there. You're getting there.
I'm gonna look in the cup holder in my car. I might have a couple quarters.
Donate to Vern's Batmobile.
Oh yeah, there it is. Right. So I don't know centimeters. What does that say? 100 centimeters long and 48 centimeters.
Yeah.
I did not do the conversion on it. Unfortunately, here where I live, we still use this archaic system of inches and quarter inches.
What is it? 100 centimeters?
It looks like it says 100 centimeters. That's like 10 meter. No. 1 meter.
Yeah.
So 3 feet, like 3 feet. 39 inches.
That's almost 3 feet.
Yeah, 3 feet. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine that?
That doesn't even fit in the frame.
3 times the height of you know what's really funny? Like, so Jonathan immediately pulls out 39 inches in the chat, and I'm trying to do the conversion in my head. I'm like, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, I seem to remember something about meters and centimeters. 100 centimeters is you just remove the zeros or something. And then I know that a meter and a foot or a meter is like a yard, close to a yard, or more than a yard, or whatever. So yeah,
more than a yard.
Okay, so almost 40 inches from Sunny, and then Galactus and Sentinel to open. You got to open those before you can buy them.
I have Galactus open, and that's such a shame because you can't even sell that HasLab for what you paid for it. Like, if you look on prices on eBay, people are selling that thing for like $350, and it's like, how are you selling it for less than what you paid for it? Like,
yeah,
I would have loved to get rid of it because, like, I don't really have the space for it. But
is it complete? The ones that they're selling for less, or did they take the figures out?
No, they're selling it complete for like $400, $350. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Well, but it's one of those things that like you pay for something, and then like if you fall into hard times or something like that, you realize you just
need the money.
Yeah, you got to cut the losses. It's unfortunate, right? Like when you get into a situation like that. I'm holding out. I got a Sentinel still boxed up. I took the chance on that one. That's the only one I ever did.
But see, now that one's still going for a good amount of money, like especially now. So like that's my mindset now going forward with HasLabs. If it's not something that's an army builder, I'm not even, unless it's something that I'm just dying for myself. Yeah. Otherwise, if it's not an army builder, don't even think about like buying it to flip.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see if it shows up in an X-Men or movie or something like that. And then I imagine
the new 92 drops, you'll be seeing that Sentinel skyrocket again. Yeah.
So I will say this though: if somebody is really serious and they missed the opportunity or whatever, and you're looking for one, feel free to contact me. Right?
Yeah,
and then work something out, I guess. let's see. All the people who bought a ton of those HasLabs to flip for stupid money cover the cost of the one they plan to keep are up the creek in barbed wire canoe. Yes, that's true.
Yep.
I didn't do that. Like I when I originally got that Sentinel, I thought like, oh, okay, I'm going to get a second one, and then we'll see if it's really good. I'm going to have them both, and then I was like, if not, I just get rid of the other one. I tried to do a trade at my comic book store. I wanted him to give me like store credit.
Okay.
In the store, but I wanted more than he wanted to give me.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I ended up doing with my Sentinel. I brought my Sentinel over to my comic shop. He grabbed it. The Sentinel's still there, but he sold his Galactus the day Galactus came out. He sold it, and he got like $800 for Galactus, like right off the bat. And I was like, bro, you got so lucky with that, because like even now, like you're penny pinching for like for what you paid for it. Like, it's not even worth it.
Yeah. All right, so then I got these guys. I know there must be a bunch of Simpsons fans out there, and then I don't even know which brand these are. I just grabbed these pictures because I thought they look kind of interesting.
I think these are the Super 7 ones.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think yeah. Now that you say it, I think that's right. But anybody getting these?
These are cool looking. Like the Mike Tyson looks cool. The Radioactive Man, they look awesome. I know Mo and them and Krusty from like the last one went through like last minute changes before they actually came out. But these look cool. I have yet to like buy a Super 7 product or have one like in hand to see how they are, but I have heard like a lot of bad negative things about like their products as far as like the durability and the quality and stuff like that. A lot of broken stuff.
I have only ever bought those like GI Joes, the little 5-inch ones. I got a Snake Eyes, and I think I grabbed a couple more when they dropped the price in half. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll grab those. So I haven't gotten any of their bigger ones, but I'm interested in getting a bat, even though I know that the scale is going to be off. I think that the bat is the perfect figure to be a little bit bigger because it's a robot. Right.
Well, like
or
mechanic. That's why I was testing the waters with that Rita. But now, after the news that we're getting a new Lightning Collection release, I may end up canceling that one and just stick with the Lightning Collection one.
Right. Okay, let's see. G4 says Flanders is fantastic. Jonathan saying subpar 7 simps will be all over this. And
Jono hates fucking Super 7.
I'm thinking about getting the robotic Itchy and Scratchy.
That's cool. Those are cool ones. I saw the Pinky and the Brain that people were posting that they got in hand, and somebody's caption was like, you can theoretically murder somebody with the extra head because it's just like a solid piece of plastic.
All right, so before we move into, I'm gonna step out of the frame for a second because I'm gonna grab my vintage Lando.
Okay.
I'm right here though, not going very far. And then I'm gonna grab them both.
Okay. Yeah, I have my Return of the Jedi Lando.
Okay, the problem is I want to get one more, but it's way up there. So we are going to talk about Lando Calrissian. So this is my Lando Calrissian that I had from when I was a kid. And the reason so the reason that I know that don't be all fancy about the cape or anything like that, because that's a repro. I did that. Just cut out some gray vinyl and made my own cape for him. But the reason I know that this one is the one that I had is because he's smiling. So the other one that I have up there is one that I've picked up later. And, well, I wish I could get it. Hold on.
He got a different look to him.
Because they were all like slightly like different.
Yeah, they all have though. That's the one thing with those vintage ones is like they're all slightly different.
see. We'll just show off all the ones that came down with him.
So all the ones that came down.
I got those like baseball bat cases.
Yeah.
So, so
and that's where you have all your vintage stuff then.
The door was a little bit stuck, so he came down. These two guys came down, and then this guy came down. I know they're not Lando, but Lando brought with him. So
this is my favorite one that I got.
That's the General. Yeah, General from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and I just swapped the head with the archive one, the bounty hunter one.
Oh, so you got a better face sculpt on him.
Yeah, that's all I did. It's the head's a little loose still on it because it doesn't really fit that well on that peg, but it looks a lot better. And then I gave him the gun from young Lando.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. I have this one, and then I have young Lando and the archive one, in his bounty hunter costume.
All right, so these are the two vintage Landos I have. You can see that one of them's smiling, one of them's not smiling.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah, so the one I always had was the one where you could see him smiling, but I picked this one up just because it's a variant. And of course,
that's cool.
I got this one here.
Yep.
And the coolest thing about this is like with the Bosch or whatever, or the Bounty Hunter Leia, and then the Lando, they actually came where the helmets came off. So that was like
cool.
That was like really cool back in the 80s.
Especially back then. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have all these in the Black Series versions.
Mm-hmm.
But if I take them down, I'm gonna knock
more. You're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff to clean up after.
Yeah, I just wanted to show off like the vintage ones because I knew you were gonna pull out Black Series and stuff like that. But I
think I have. Let me see. I think right here I have young Lando. Let me see.
Oh, the
Oh no, I have him headless.
Glover one. Oh yeah.
So young Lando, but he's headless.
So mine. So if I were to dig through that bag, I have one where it's only the upper body.
Okay.
Right. Like I've reused all the other parts for something else, and I couldn't even tell you what I used them for. Let's see.
I think I have the young Lando head on the archive body because I think when I swapped this, I think that's where I put the young Lando, like to give him the Donald Glover look underneath the bounty hunter helmet.
So G-Force wants me to put the smiling Lando head on the skiff guard head, and I'll tell you. Okay, you know what? If I were to ever get another smiling Lando and another car,
then you could do it. Yeah.
But like, these are actually mine. So I've had these for 40 years or whatever. So I won't mess with those. Like this one, I don't have that attachment to. Like if I wanted to break this one apart, I don't have any problem with it. But these ones,
but the smiling, because I know that's special. Like we were saying at the beginning of the stream, like to still have stuff from when you were a kid, like that's incredible.
That's the difference between like, so I can show you these two stormtroopers right here, and one of them I've had forever, and one of them I haven't.
Okay.
And I can tell because this is the one that's always. Oh wait, yeah, this is the one that's always been outside, and you can see where he's like
see the yellowing on it,
and stuff like that. Then I found this one, which was a much nicer version. So in the case too, but it was like, oh, I gotta find one that's like clear. But like apparently you can throw this in like a hydrogen peroxide and throw it in the sun, and
supposedly clean it up a little bit,
brings the white back out on it and stuff like that. But let's see. My favorite Black Series though is that Skiff Guard Lando. So I have the original version, but I did get like that archive version because of the head's a little bit better. And I did think about just like swapping the head, but then I thought, you know what? You can always use that body for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that General Lando is cool because he's got like a shoulder holster, which theoretically you can use on a GI Joe.
Yeah, on pretty much anything. And he's just a cool, like I like that look to him, you know, like it's just it's like regal, but he's still in the gear with them like for Endor. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the idea, yeah, he looks really cool. And like with the cape and everything. I'm trying to find this custom that I did. So I did this one, Hawk, right? And you see, like, I did the shoulder holster kind of on him. This is before Recondo. If I had Recondo, if I had Recondo when I did this figure, Recondo's shoulder holster would have went on him, and I probably would have put it on the outside of the jacket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So if you want to see the gun holster, it is actually Han Solo's holster, this waist holster, and I just cut like that look, so it hangs down, you know, it's got the like the belt that goes around the hang. Got that upper portion of the belt, and I just stretched it over his chest.
That's cool.
And you don't notice because of the jacket covers it up, and you just got the gun that sticks out.
But if not, you could have used this and just slung this over. Yeah.
I could have used that one, or I easily could have just used the one that, if I had Recondo, I probably would have stole Recondo's and stuck it on.
Yeah, and just put that on.
Yeah, but the problem is that that leather jacket's open in the front, so it kind of makes it like hard to use, right? Like
we are supposed to get that General Hawk at some point, right? Like that they did announce him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's announced, so hopefully that will come out. And then like I wanted to show this also. So G-Force is saying he's got the Skiff Lando and the Gamorrean Guard as his only childhood figures. And I have a Gamorrean Guard, but his weapon belongs to a Power of the Force character. And then Connor says they need to reuse General Lando's body for General Madine in the Black Series. Yeah, that would be a really good reuse. So I want to show this before... So if you look at what I did here with this Hawk, you can see like his chin, it's got that little mark on it.
Yeah.
And then if you look at him, he looks a little brown right there at the bottom of his chin.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Solo version, the Mud Trooper version of the Solo.
The Membane one, yeah.
And the reason why it's got that mark on there and it's got that discoloration is because I use a blow dryer when I'm like removing heads. I warm it up with a blow dryer, and I actually overwarmed this head and touched it with the head of the blow dryer with that scar. And I'm like thinking like it kind of looks cool because he looks like maybe
give him a little bit of a scar, yeah.
A battle scar and maybe a little bit of like a 3 o'clock shadow.
No, what I always do is I take a Solo cup, I fill it about, you know, a little bit with water, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then just I drop whatever I need into the water, and then just pull it out with pliers so I don't burn myself. But everything just comes apart nice and easy. You could take it all apart in pieces.
Well, I'm hoping that so Jonathan's saying maybe we get General Madine with the 50th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Probably because I'm pretty sure that's when they're going to think about Lobot.
And do some other figures that we haven't gotten yet, other than just like the re-releases over and over again. That
Destro Pimp Fat Thor is sweet, Vern. Does the head fit on it? Okay, so they're talking about the Prophet Destro. He's got the glasses. I have the red glasses. And yeah, like pretty much it fits on the head, it fits on the peg. The only problem is because of the hair keeps it from wanting to fully like seat. And then the hair is now like kind of stretched out because of the collar. Yeah. But I think otherwise I like the way he looks. I got to find his glasses. I got lost somewhere.
We could talk forever about head swaps and customs.
G-Force, can you throw your toupee in with the laundry? You know, I got the best compliment yesterday. I checked out Fabulous Disaster and Agredo. They had done a live stream, and the guy that was on there, man, his name slips my mind, but he basically said, he goes, oh, Vern, he's got the best hair for a 40-year-old. It was like, yeah, add 10 plus years. But it was pretty nice, right? Like,
oh man.
Okay, so I want to go back to this question we got really early on, and I know he left, I think, right? Like, so let's see who said it. Way at the beginning, because I kind of glaze over is okay. The question here: do you think a lot of adult collections I'm sure it's collectors have stopped collecting because of PFP, distribution, and or prices? So
I think
curious.
It's all three.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying to you earlier on, I think, hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric, thanks for coming in.
I think all of those issues combined are what's leading to like what we're seeing as consumers, where stuff's missing out of the packaging, stuff's being broken in the packaging. You know, you're not getting all your accessories you're supposed to get, or getting duplicates of stuff. I think it's all combining. I think it all stemmed from them switching to the plastic-free packaging, and then the issues that are coming with that. And then as a consumer, I don't know about any of you guys, but when I go to stores now, the stuff that's in plastic-free is usually still sitting there. Like Ned B hasn't yet to sell at my Targets anywhere, because I don't think anybody knows what it is. They just walk by it. It's a different box than the rest of the Star Wars stuff, so nobody pays any attention to it. But yeah, so, I think all three. I think plastic-free packaging has affected a lot of inbox collectors to the point where like they're not collecting anymore. Especially like people that were buying multiples. I think that's all out the window too. Right. I think that's all non-existent at this point.
All right. I want to say hello to Linda, but I want to give Eric my migraine advice before he bails, if he hasn't already. A full glass of Coca-Cola. Screaming every time.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see like if they do end up going back on it, or if they, you know, if it's something that they try to stick their guns to. I just don't see it being long-term good for the company and the brands as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, I think eventually they're going to see themselves that like sales are declining because people aren't buying the stuff because of the packaging that it's in. The packaging was a big appeal.
Okay. So I said this before. I'm making a lot of noise. I had said this in a previous episode. So this is the plastic-free package for the rocket launcher trooper. And pretty much it's just pictures, right? The previous packaging that would have like a big window right here where you would see like the figure, and now it's like just a picture. So here's what I've been doing. I've never kept any of my packaging. One of the things is I hated that the plastic little bubble piece that would come out. It's hard to, you can't store your entire box together anymore, you know, and stuff like that. So what I do is I cut my package down, take all the tape off, I open it up, and I can lay this piece flat. Oh, Waze just dropped out. He's probably having some issues. I'll put him back on. But anyways, this is the plastic-free packaging, and what I do is I can now store this as like a flat piece of cardboard if I wanted to, and I have been. So all of my plastic-free packaging for my Star Wars figures have now gone flat, and I got them all kind of piled up and saved right now. So I am actually holding on to the boxes because they are in this fashion. And I have went back and found a few of the boxes that had the windows, and I've then cut them into this shape and put them on. But the problem is, because they have that little window, there's some extra folds right here so they don't lay flat. But I love being able to keep this piece because I can now open it up and just keep it flat. So to me, it's almost like a plus, because when I look at it like that, I think it just looks really cool.
Yeah. No, I
you know what I mean?
That. I still keep them, like you can see them on the floor behind me there, behind my chair. Yeah. I usually, what I was doing with the Calyx, until like I had dioramas or anything, I was lining the boxes up behind them. So like if a figure fell, I wasn't losing stuff behind the Calyx unit. You know, it would fall or tumble and tumble back out.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do like the artwork on them. It's just, it's just space after a while. It's like, what am I going to do with all this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why I felt like I can open it up and lay it flat. And now I got these like flat cards, and I can almost, if I wanted to, right, and make them perfect, I can trim all of this excess off.
Yeah.
And then make.
I've seen like some people just literally cut this. They just cut the mural out and keep the mural so they can make it, and they just hang it as like a collage when it's all, you know.
Because on the old, go ahead. The red and black boxes, I used to cut the back. And I used to just keep the back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but, part of it's keeping it too, like, God forbid somebody has to like sell my collection down the line. You know, at least they have the boxes to put the stuff back in to sell.
Well, eventually, maybe not, because you may get to a point where you have to decide, can I add more to my collection, or am I keeping these boxes?
Yes. Yeah.
The space is finite. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, that's what it comes down to, really. So
let's see. Okay, let's see. I would have thought they would be trying to make a bubble out of the some kind of cornstarch, like the new edible packing nuts. Oh yeah, like an edible plastic package. So if you buy a Black Series figure, it could taste like licorice. No, I'm just messing around. But yeah, you know, you're right. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff with like alternative to plastic or whatever, and
people were saying already, like the original packaging was recycled anyway.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It is. I mean, I was joking, obviously, but like, you know, they can find different ways to do this. G-Force has 15 bins boxes full of empty figure boxes in the attic. Eventually, you're gonna run out of space up in that attic, and it's a horrible fire hazard.
Because it'll all go up.
so I do. So I have kept some of these.
Yeah.
Right. These are the plastic, and sometimes what I use them for is if I'm painting or something like that, I'll throw some like water and some paint or something.
Yeah, they
like
make
that.
great for paint trays.
But also, if you're doing a diorama, that's the perfect window.
Yes.
Right. Like.
Yeah. No, I keep the GIJOE ones, and I keep the Star Wars ones. The archive ones I throw out. Like if it's just a straight archive card back, I usually throw them out. If it is like a special card back, like the Lucas, I kept the card back of that. Okay. But I threw the bubble away. Just stuff like that. Like for the most part, I keep. But I agree with you. At some point, I'm gonna get to the point where like I run out of space to keep it all.
Look, so I used to buy on Goodwill. I would buy lots, like figure lots. You know, like I would go look, and there'd be like 20 figures or something like that, and then I'd look through them. I'd like to look closely at the figures and go, "Oh, okay, I really want that one. I really want that one." I have a rocket firing Boba Fett that came out like the 2000s or whatever, and that was like just laying in a picture of a lot. And I think I got that whole lot. It was like 30 Star Wars figures. I think I got it for like maybe like $70 or something like that. So it was like, to me, like super cheap, because even at $2 a figure, I mean, it pays for itself. And I ended up keeping, I think, like 5 of those. And I think I ended up selling the rest of them back on eBay for probably, I probably put it on for like $100 buy it now, because it was like, I only paid 70. I didn't want,
you just want to make your money and pay for shipping and everything.
Yeah. But the thing is, if I knew COVID was coming, and if I knew that the market would turn the way it did, because I really feel like the price of stuff just skyrocketed during that time.
Yeah.
And if I would have waited 2 years, that same lot would have been probably a $300 to $400 lot potentially of figures, because it was a lot of figures, like Bespin Luke. It had Leia in there. It had all the characters.
Yeah.
And I was letting stuff like that go for what I thought was like, it just helps me keep the 1 or 2 figures that I wanted.
Yeah.
But then when you see how the prices go, it's like, man, if I would have just decided to keep them all in a box, right?
Yeah.
So I think that what happened is you had this like, because I honestly don't, what I'm trying to say is I honestly don't think it's the plastic free packaging. and stuff like that, that's hurting the thing. I think that there was a period of time where like production started to decline. There were still collectors out there, and it made it really hard for people to get figures that they wanted, and it created a false demand.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
And it created an opportunity for scalpers to come in and force secondary prices much higher.
Yeah.
And I think so what ended up happening is demand was probably the same, but product availability was lower because of this double-edged sword, people trying to figure out a way to make money when they couldn't have a job or they couldn't go to work.
Yeah.
And it was driving prices up. And so your regular collectors were thinking like, oh, you know, this and that. And then other people paying attention to it. You know what I mean? And I remember like talking to somebody at Target, and they were like, yeah, this guy comes in, he buys like the whole wave of stuff. And then 45 days later, he brings back 3/4 of the wave.
Mm-hmm.
So what the guy is doing, he's going to the store, he's buying every figure on the shelf, throwing them all on eBay for 30 to 40 days. And then right before his return window closes, if they haven't sold, he just takes
brings them back.
Back.
No, that happens a lot of places. Yeah.
You know,
that's a big thing. And then like you were saying, during COVID, I think a lot of people had that disposable income. So if they got out of collecting, they jumped in, they were spending money. All these companies saw that. And then now that things are back to normal, everything's kind of gone with it. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, I think as these prices go up and as they continue to do these things, I think it'll really tell who, you know, which brands are going to be successful and which stuff's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to share this pic of G-Force's guest bedroom.
Okay.
Yep.
All his packages. Yeah.
No, there's probably empty boxes inside all of those boxes, my guess.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, that's you know, I hate to tell you this, but I am not shocked.
I mean, that's how like a lot of us. It's always, you know, it's boxes and boxes and boxes and Amazon boxes and stuff that gets shipped in boxes. It's just like, all right, yeah.
I'll take your room. You stay on the couch. Let's see. Tons of people in the collecting scene. Yeah. So like, so I think a lot of people came out. Yeah. Like you said, you know, they had some money that they weren't spending on like trips or whatever they were doing. And then they had more time on their hands and stuff like that. So it's very interesting because I think when me and Sean first started this, we kind of were telling each other, well, when did you start collecting? And Sean was saying, well, I think we both got into it really heavy like a few years ago. And I remember like maybe right before COVID, we were exchanging messages on YouTube. And I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I think that's around the time a little bit before that is when I decided to start doing the YouTube videos. And maybe I started getting a little bit more, but I'm like, always think like, I remember picking stuff up always and always having my collection. You know what I mean? Like, cause I remember in 2013 bringing home the Black Series figures. I just wasn't making videos about it because, you know, I didn't think about it. And then I always wonder like, well, in 2013, if I had made a video of my first Black Series video and put it out there, you know, how would things be like different today?
Yeah.
Like,
No, but that's the whole thing. And that's where I think like a lot of people jumped in, you know, on YouTube, started exploring the stuff and like, oh, and then you're seeing like a lot of people faded out, and then the people that wanted to stay on stayed on, and it's interesting. And I think that's kind of what's been unfortunately keeping the collecting community alive is like people like all of us that are like on YouTube showing people that are our stuff, and like
peer pressure.
I think not even peer pressure, but I could see that. But I don't know. I think exposing people, then showing like, look, this is really cool. Like this, I know this might not be something you're still into, but like if you were into it in the past and you see it, it might bring back that feeling again. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want to let you know, if I disappear, it's because my phone died.
Okay. Well, we're gonna end pretty soon, anyways, because we're getting close to 2 hours. Or we
All right,
just
so yeah, if I disappear totally, it's
Yeah,
just because my phone died.
I think I just want to finish by like kind of like wrapping up the conversation about like what we think about what's causing, if those things are causing people to collect less. I think it's like, yeah, everything kind of regulating or normalizing, but I think that the main factor is the price.
Yeah.
The price is going up for like pretty much less or about the same as what you were getting before, without any reasonable explanation of that price hike. Just saying,
or any kind of even valid price range, I guess you could say, because everything ranges from like this price to this price, and there's no correlation. Like if they just said it where like, hey, this is the standard price, this is our deluxe, and this is our super deluxe. That's it. These are the price tiers. Okay, I think a lot of people would be a lot more, acceptable of that. The fact that it's like you're paying anywhere from $20 to $80 for a figure. That's the range, and like, good luck. We'll put something in, somewhere on that scale. It's like, all right, well.
I feel like what Hasbro did was they saw a company like SH Figure Arts or Mafex able to capitalize on like a $60, $75, $80 price point, and then thought, well, if we just slowly, incrementally get there, right, without doing anything different.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is you'll get like a figure like Craven, and you want it in your collection, and you've been in that line, and if you miss them, then you're not getting them.
Yeah, I'm not getting them. That's pretty much, that's what has happened with the other ones, that like, if I miss them, forget about trying to track them down.
Yeah. It's like having me give you my Marvel Superhero Secret Wars 1 through 12, missing issue 8 because I sold that one off, and then now you got to go hunt it down. Well, you want to go spend more for it or whatever. Is that the one where they reveal the Spider-Man outfit?
Yeah,
I think that's so. You want to spend more for that one to have the complete set, or are you good with just having 11 of the 12 issues?
Yeah, having this, and that's where I've been with that line in particular. It's like some of those are too hard to track down, too much money. That Venom, I'm never gonna pay $100 and something for that Venom. Like,
that's exactly why. Yeah, that's exactly why I don't have the Cyclops in the all blue outfit with the Dark Phoenix, because that 2-pack is ridiculous. And it's almost like they re-released the Dark Phoenix, but I mean, where is Cyclops to go with it?
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, well, okay, I can get the Phoenix now and hope that one day that Cyclops will come back, or I can just say, well, I mean, without the other one, is it really worth
what's
it?
the point? It's just kind of like, all right, it just is what it is. And that's what I've done with a lot of those. Like I only have maybe 10 of the Spider-Man ones, and like the other ones I've just missed and never gone back and got. It's and unfortunate. Like I would love that Kingpin. I would love a couple of them, but it just is what it is.
All right. So I think that sums it up pretty good about like what we think about the collecting. So anyways, I want to say thanks to everybody for joining us. I think we are going to end it because it's been a little bit over 2 hours, and we know that people got stuff to do on Saturdays. And if you don't, I'm sorry.
We would love to stay on and talk. My phone's just literally going to turn off in any minute now.
Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, so let's all go to the movies and check that out, and we can all talk about it.
And thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me fill in for Sean. Sean's at a concert, in case anyone's wondering. He's rocking out right now, not thinking about us.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. So I do appreciate what I'm looking for is GeForce. Can you throw up that link again for the Duffman diorama? I want to throw that up there on the screen before we go, or I'm trying to look through the chat to see it, but you guys can go through the chat and see. There's a fundraiser for Duffman diorama, and you guys, make sure you check that out. But
he said Dave's mentioned it's going to be on Dave's channel, or it's organized by Dave. So Definitely.
So there's probably information on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So between episodes of the Toy Duo, you can always catch me and Ways of the Sith on YouTube on our channels. We're going to have plenty of videos coming out. And then you can always find us on Instagram and Twitter. Are you on Facebook?
No. Just
okay, so
Instagram and Twitter. Yep.
Twitter and Instagram, and Twitter as long as it's still functional, because it seems like it's shaking right now and getting ready to fall.
Week by week, we're not sure what's going to happen, but we're still there for now.
Yeah. But anyways, we really appreciate everybody who stopped by, participated. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
He's an action figure poser, which means posing action figures is his specialty. SeanSolo8 and it's Vern from OakhurstStudios, who is a master at complaining about pretty much everything. And together, they are